and Chef Mark McKinney from UT Medical Center Healthy Living Kitchen joins me now to make a fennel and fish dish. We were saying steamed sea bass, but sometimes you can't get the kind of fish you're planning on.
That's right. You know, when you send in a recipe or you plan a menu, sometimes you plan one thing, and when you get to the store, maybe it's not available, so you have to make substitutions. So we've done that this morning. This recipe works really well with just about any fish other than maybe like a flounder or possibly a cod that would really fall apart in the steaming process. So more of a firmer flesh fish would work fine. We're using tilapia, which is a mild fish. Sea bass is a little bit more of a medium-bodied fish, but they're both a white fish, and they both have a lot of good, healthy proproperties.
And tilapia is usually pretty affordable.
So it is. It is. Sea bass is a little pricey, but it's a good fish.
Yeah.
Tilapia, which you know, I usually refer to as the poor man's grouper, is certainly a lot more affordable, but serves the same purpose.
Okay.
So what we have, this is a really simple dish. I think the home cook could probably prep this ahead of time. You come home from work, you can just pop it in the oven and let it go. You could even also do it on a stovetop over a low heat in a pan. We're doing a steaming process, so we're eliminating a lot of the fat because we're going to steam or kind of poach in a liquid, and we're using lots of bold flavors with vegetables and things like that to also add flavor without adding a lot of fat and salt.
So instead of like frying or sauteing in oil, the steam is going to cook the fish.
Right. Okay. So it's really simple. We have our fish, and I've got about 7 ingredients here that are going to go on top. I have some red onion that I've sliced up, and I have fennel. Now, fennel, if you're not familiar, or also maybe seen as anise, is, I call it hairy celery, but it has that licorice flavor.
May I smell it? I want to.
Sure.
Yes.
And this is a lot of what Mike was saying. Oh, you can smell everything in the kitchen this morning. This was the fennel and the orange when I was cooking the fish that were coming out. So, onion, fennel. I have a little bit of green olive.
Now, on the fennel, you use only the white part?
Right, right. And we slice it up real thin. So we have some green olive, and that's going to give a little saltiness and kind of that briny olive flavor. Olive. You don't want to do too much because there is a lot of sodium in olives. And there's fat, but it's good fat. Orange zest.
That's what I'm smelling is the citrus.
Garlic. Salt, pepper. Just to season a little bit. And then we're going to put some olive oil in here and kind of mix all this up. And then over here in our oven-safe pan, we have our fish. So this all gets mixed up. It gets placed right on top of the fish.
So the preparation, like you said, is just chopping up these things.
Yeah, it is super easy. I mean, I think I had this stuff ready to go in less than 30 minutes walking in here this morning.
And that's the liquid. What are you pouring in there
This is orange juice.
And that's going to steam.
Right. This is going to steam and kind of poach, so you would cover it with aluminum foil, or if you were using like an oven-safe saute pan with a lid, you could just do that. Pop it in the oven. If it's a smaller piece of fish, 4 ounces or less, and it's relatively thin, we're going to go for about 7 minutes. If it's a thicker piece of fish, you'd have to let it go a little bit longer, just until it cooks the fish. So
that's a fast meal.
It's really, really easy. So when it comes out, everything kind of cooks down. All the vegetables get nice and soft. You can really smell the orange and the fennel and all of that working together. We'll take our fish, and what I have over here, this is just a real simple, easy base. That is brown rice and red quinoa, which you can, you know, I think one thing that's cool now, I talk about quinoa all the time.
I made it for dinner last night. I loved it.
Isn't it great? You're seeing so many more variations of it now coming out, and they're actually making blends with rice and quinoa and different whole grains and stuff like that, where you can just buy the blend and then mix it together, and it's a raw blend. It's not the pre-seasoned. You know, you've got to be really careful with those. They have a lot of that stuff out, but when you look at the back of it, it's 20%, 30% sodium. You've got to kind of keep an eye on that stuff. It has nutritional value, but I find it's always best to either buy a blend that's just the basic grain without anything added to it and use your own seasoning, or buy bulk and mix them together yourself and do things like that. So
the red quinoa's pretty too in there.
Yeah, it is. I really like the red quinoa. It has a little bit of a different texture than the white. So the fish goes on, maybe a little garnish. That's just some orange zest that I'd cut up, and you can even
use your pan juices.
Use your pan juices if you want to do a little bit of a sauce. And it's that easy. This is really, really simple.
So you're with the Healthy Living Kitchen at UT, and you all have a cookbook that you is available in the gift shop at the hospital and other places, I imagine?
Right. A Recipe for Life is our cookbook, and like you said, it's available in paperback in the gift shop. You can go online to utmedicalcenter.org, and you can order it online as an e-reader. We do corporate wellness. We do classes at the medical center. We do grocery store tours with Food City, who sponsors us. You know, if you have any personal need to look at maybe changing your diet, doing some healthier habits, things like that,
we
let
check
us know.
with you. Thank you so much, Chef. We'll be right back.